I'm Euan, this is Unit 8 P6 P7. Firstly, P6, was the event successful? It was successful because it ran smoothly, meaning that there was no confusion and everyone got to play their games. No one had trouble connecting to the servers, meaning again everyone got to play games, and we had no complaints, meaning everyone enjoyed themselves and enjoyed what they were doing. Did it achieve its stated aim and purpose? Our aim was to raise money for charity and to prevent boredom during lockdown. Everyone participated gave £2, which meant that we didn't raise our target because we only had 8 participants, but we raised £16 for a good cause. Also, the tournament ran smoothly. This meant that there was no confusion, everyone played the games, and it was all on time. The formative assessment milestones were set to each person for their job roles. For example, I was the official scorekeeper and I had to keep score and do the fixtures and results. Group discussions were also done where everyone was to give us a rough idea if everyone needs help and everyone to participate. Summative assessment, the group discussions to see again what everyone was at and to give us a rough idea of who needed help and who didn't. And also the feedback from participants. Example of this was one of the chief organisers, his mate said that this was easy to set up and he really enjoyed his time playing. The strengths was that we used a Snapchat group to see the scores and fixtures. People would send over their scores and I would jot them down on the fixtures on the results sheet. Also, Google Hangouts was good because we used it to communicate with our group members, meaning that we could all have an idea of who was doing what and how long it would take. Instagram to post our poster so we could get more participants in. However, we didn't give this enough time and this meant that we only had 8 participants. No buy system, so no one had that extra advantage of going straight through, everyone had to play a game. Weaknesses, however, small amount of participants meant that it was over after an hour and 30 minutes, meaning that it was only a short amount of time spent in their day. People who got knocked out, they only played the one game, meaning that they paid the £2 and didn't get to play the rest of the games, and they played one game. And people on PS4 couldn't play. Areas to improve: people with charitable backgrounds to get involved and help us promote. This means that we might get more participants because it's spread over more people's Instagrams. And also people who have a PS4 could also play, so we could do a tournament for both PS4 and Xbox consoles. Now for P7, what roles did I perform in? I was the official scorekeeper and I had to organise and create fixtures and keep score of the results. Also, I had to generate the names of the participants, so they'd randomly generate and see who would be playing who. Once the games were over, I also had the results and they sent their scores through the Snapchat group. The strengths of my role: pretty straightforward role. All I needed was a fixtures and results list and to random generate people's names. The fixtures list was helpful because I could easily see who was going to be playing who and at what time. The results list was good because we could see who was going through to the next round, and this would just give us a rough idea of who was going to win. The generator meant that there was no favoritism and it was all 100% genuine, meaning that who you come up against meant that this was all good. Also, it flowed well and we had a clear winner. So this meant that all games were played at the right time and we come to one conclusion. Weaknesses: because it was a straightforward role, it was boring because I had to finish reasonably quickly. This meant that I was standing around doing nothing. However, I did ask to help others, but everyone knew what they were doing and no one needed my help. We didn't have enough followers on our Instagram page. This meant that we didn't have enough people to participate, and only because the tournament only lasted an hour and a half, if we had double the amount, we could have had a good reasonable tournament on our hands. Not everyone was clear enough sending scores over, which meant that I didn't know who won or who lost. So how I adapted, I was regularly asking what scores were to make sure that I had the right ones, using a different generator as well because Google generator had a cap of 10 players. This meant that if we did have more than 10, I'd have to use a different generator, and that's why I used a different one, just to make sure it's correct. And finally, was going to write down the results on paper. but decided to do it on the computer because if I lost the paper then I'd lose the results. I would not be able to analyse them. So to do them on the computer, I can just save them onto my computer.